the best way to find real estate wholesaling deals is by just getting your phone and calling people who might want to sell their property for cash. But cold calling at the end of the day, guys and gals, is really simple. You get your phone, you ask a couple questions, and really, you just want to figure out if somebody's looking to sell their property or not. Hello, welcome to the discovery call of the Zach Ginn cold calling system. For the easy price of $2,000, just put out your credit card right now, and I'll give you everything you need to know about cold calling. Yeah, I can guarantee your results. Just don't charge back the credit card after 30 days and I can guarantee your results. Yeah, I'll do one Zoom with you with 300 people every single week. It's pretty much the same thing as me holding your hand. Oh, you're gonna do the one-on-ones for free from Zach and go to freewholesaling.com? How am I gonna sell wholesaling real estate cold calling programs if Zach Ginn keeps selling his things for free and he does one-on-one coaching calls? You know what I should do? I should charge higher prices. That's the problem. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I'm gonna give you my absolutely free cold calling script that has made me millions of dollars in my own wholesaling real estate business, and more importantly, that's given hundreds of thousands of people their first real estate wholesaling deal by this cold calling script. Guys, this cold calling script makes me millions because it's super simple, it's extremely effective, and it's one of the most psychologically proven and tested cold calling scripts that's going to yield you the best results possible in wholesaling real estate. Now I can tell you guys, I train a lot of 16, 17, 18-year-old kids that are brand new in this business, and they have immediate success with the script because it's super simple and you can start using it today. And yes, you heard a little funny thing in the beginning. Yes, I could probably charge $1,000 or $2,000 for a cold calling program, but I give it to you absolutely for free. Number one, I make enough money with my own script to cold call where I don't need your dang money. And number two, just to flex on a real estate wholesaling guru. So before we break it down, do me a big favor, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. So the first question you have to ask yourself before I get into my cold calling step-by-step guide with the script is, what is cold calling? Cold calling is basically the process of us actually going out here and making phone conversations, phone messages out to people that want to sell their property. Everybody knows the wholesaling real estate process where I find somebody who wants to sell their house, put it under contract, then they sell that contract to a rich landlord, house flipper, cash buyer for a $5, $10, $15, even $20,000 assignment fee. The honest truth is, the best way to find real estate wholesaling deals is by just getting your phone and calling people who might want to sell their property for cash. Usually a list of somebody that has an ugly looking house. And a little later in this video, I'm gonna break down my top list you should be doing right now. But cold calling at the end of the day, guys and gals, is really simple. You get your phone, you ask a couple questions, and really, you just want to figure out if somebody's looking to sell their property or not. I feel like some of the biggest cold calling misconceptions I see is that cold calling is this super crazy salesy process where you have to close the seller right there. You have to do high pressure, super stressful. And I get it. A lot of the real estate influencers out here try to make it seem like that, but it's honestly not like that. Cold calling is more about disqualifying than qualifying. We want to find people that don't want to sell their house and just get rid of them. If you're cold calling a list of, let's say, 500 sellers, just expect at minimum 450 of those people just to say no, screw you off the bat because they don't want to deal with you. This means around 10% or most likely 5% of a list you have are going to be people that actually want to sell their property. So I think the biggest misconception is every single person is an instant yes and they want to sell their house. And yes, you see the really sexy phone calls, you see me do my live calling, you see my recordings of me closing sellers with cold calling. It seems like every single one's a winner. But it's not. Heck, even Kobe Bryant had like a 40 to 50% field goal percentage. He didn't make every single shot he took. But the truth is, the more shots you take, the better you get and the more points you score. And the best part about cold calling is when you quote unquote miss a shot, nobody knows. They only know the ones you make. So the biggest thing most beginners when it comes to cold calling ask me is two main questions. Number one, how much money am I gonna make my first month cold calling? And number two, how many calls do I need to get a deal? Well, let's answer these two questions. Number one, how much money can you make in cold calling? I would say individually, if you are a one-shot person, like you're doing this all yourself, realistically, you can expect 1, 2, or 3 deals this month if you put your all into it. This can yield you 10, 20, 30, even $50,000 if it's a big deal. Really, I hate to say that's unlimited how much money you can make, but it really is. My first cold calling deal was about 15 grand, but I've had cold calling deals where I made 75, 80, even $90,000. So it's really up to how lucky you get on the type of deal and how much you negotiate it down. Now this comes back to a more common one. Zach, how many calls do I have to make to get a deal? And this is one of the most common things, and I sort of roll my eyes sometimes when somebody asks me this, because I feel like you're asking the wrong questions. It should never be how many calls I need to get a deal. It should be how many hours do I have to work to get a deal. The reasoning is, I like to use fishing as an example. How many fish can I catch in 4 hours? It's a very loaded question, because if we're counting minnows, like tiny little fish, I could probably catch 500 of them in 30 minutes. The little cast net, right? But if I want to go catch a big blue marlin, probably going to take me 3 or 4 hours, and I'm only going to catch one of them. But which one sounds cooler, right? On top of that, your fishing success, just like your cold calling success, matters really hard on your rod and your reel. So cold calling and fishing are very similar. There's rods and there are reels. So if I'm going to try to catch a blue marlin on a little tiny Walmart fishing pole with a little fake worm on it, I'm not going to go catch a marlin. But if I have the best marlin fishing equipment, I'm gonna have a lot better success at doing it. Also vice versa, if I have all this crazy marlin fishing equipment and I try to catch a smallmouth bass in a lake in Alabama, it's gonna be very hard for me to do it because the hook's too big. Your rod and reel, your rod and bait also matter more to your success and your environment. For example, I might have the most killer, amazing cold calling script ever in history. But if I'm cold calling a list of pre-foreclosures, my results are absolutely going to be terrible. Pre-foreclosures are actually one of the worst lists to cold call because they're so behind on the mortgage payments. There's loan sharks, realtors, lawyers, and all these people just calling them and spamming them like crazy. That's not a good cold calling list. It's a good SMS text blasting list, but it's a terrible cold calling list. On the opposite, if I cold called with a great script, a code violation list, basically a list of people that have ugly houses that code enforcement's going after and putting fines on. Now, a lot of wholesalers go after, it's not really a saturated list at all. I can get really good results. So how many calls for a deal? I'm saying if you're doing like a probate, probably 300, 400, 500 calls will get you a deal for probates. Now, if I'm doing a high equity, maybe it's 3,000 or 4,000. Now, government lists, which we'll talk about a little later in this video, probably gonna be about 1,000, maybe even 2,000 if we're pushing it hard. But sometimes, guys, I get a deal on my first 100 calls. So it's all dependent. But just know if it takes on average 1,000 calls to get one wholesaling deal, that means I might do 2,000 calls and not get a deal, and then I do 2,000 more and then I get 2 deals. It just averages out. Kind of like in basketball, if I'm averaging 30 points a game, I might have 60 points one game, 15 one, 40, and then 20, and then like it all averages out. There's not one stop fits all approach to this. So how many calls it takes to get a deal is really dependent on the type of list and the type of script you have, and even your skip tracing. Now, if you want to learn a little more about skip tracing and pulling lists, because this is not a list pulling or skip tracing video, just go to freewholesaling.com, my free real estate wholesaling course, where I break down everything step by step, how you can get into real estate wholesaling, and how you can change your life. Now let's break down the juicy part of this video. What is my script? My script, you're gonna be very upset probably by hearing it, but it's super simple. And the reasoning is it's taken 6 years of my life to develop the perfect cold calling script. This is a script that has to work for me, has to work for you as a beginner, a VA in the Philippines who has an accent, and virtual wholesalers around the globe that I can teach in under 10 minutes. And I figured out very, very fast the best script that works, and I've used thousands of scripts. Your average guru has the worst script ever. Hey, this is Zach with Zach Home Solutions, and I'm an all-cash offer property company. I'm looking to buy your house with as little as 10 to 14 days. Your results are gonna be terrible if you use that script. Do not use that script. Use this script instead. It is a 2-tiered script. That's it. You ask them 2 questions, the seller. They pick up, they say hello, you say this. Hey, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Yes, who is this? Hey, this is Zach. So, next part, are you looking to sell the property? Are you interested in selling the property? Whichever one you want to use, but pretty much that's it. Hey, are you the owner of the property? And hey, number 2, are you interested in selling it? That is it. There's a huge reason why I use this script and why it works so well. And before you go in the comments saying, oh, Zach doesn't know what he's talking about, that's a terrible script. As somebody that makes millions of dollars from the script and has helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people make hundreds of thousands of dollars their first, second, third, fifth, 10th deal with the script, it works. Why does it work? Number 1, it's simple. I can bring my Filipino VAs on here who have accents. And because the script is so simple, you can't really detect an accent as much. But if I have a very long-winded script, if I have somebody with an accent, it's gonna be terrible. Now, you're watching this on my Zach Ginn YouTube channel. Roughly 25% of all of my audience members watching are actually international. They're outside the United States. Now, there's places like the UK, Canada, South Africa, Australia that speak English well, really an accent, but they have accents where they're at. So it doesn't really affect them. But for my audience out here from Slovenia, Nigeria, Brazil, Mexico, that might have a slight accent and it's something that's bothering you for your cold calling, using a simple script, your seller's pretty much not gonna detect that accent as much as if you used a long-winded script. And because it's simple, it actually gets results. Number two here, it doesn't waste your time. You literally only get in front of sellers that actually want to sell their property. This is the problem, and this is why in a 10-hour period of me cold calling, I get the results it takes an average wholesaler 20 or 30 hours because I'm not using a long-winded script. If somebody does not want to sell their property, I legitimately do not want to have a conversation with you for wholesaling. If you don't want to sell your house, there's a 0% chance this is going to be a wholesaling deal. I'm not here to force you to sell your home to me. If you want to sell it, I'd like to buy it. But if you don't want to sell it, you are not anyone I want to talk to. 100% of your wholesaling real estate deals are going to be people that want to sell the property. So if you ask them straight up if they want to sell the property and they say no, go to the next one. And the second part, what's the psychologically proven hack on the script that works so well? Well, number one, it throws the seller off like crazy. You got to remember, for most conversations with motivated sellers, especially cold calling, they are sitting on their couch, watching their Bachelor in Paradise, relaxing, drinking their Diet Coke or something, and enjoying their day. When out of the blue, somebody gives them a call on a weird unknown number. Who is this? They're not in my contacts. You get upset, you get in fight or flight. And most people, when they answer that phone call, they have one thing on their mind. This is a scam. I want to get off this phone and I want to go back to watching my game, watching my TV show, or talking to my friends. They don't want to be dealing with this person on the phone. And this puts them in the no mode. The no mode. And you probably get this all the time. It's subconsciously in your brain. When you get a sales call, you automatically just want to get off the phone. No, because you're like, who is calling me? Is this a doctor? Is this a jail officer? Is this a long lost lover? Who is this random person trying to call me? Is this family member sick? Like, what's going on? Did my kid get in trouble in school? They're gonna answer that phone call. But if it's not one of those important things, they're going to get off the phone as quick as possible. So you need to throw them off, kind of tease them a little. And this is why the script works. Hey, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? What? Is this Sheila? You know, like, who is this? Is this my ex-girlfriend? I don't actually have an ex-girlfriend named Sheila, so this is a good example. Yes, is this the property manager? Like, they get so stressed out, like, what's going on? And now you threw them off. Because they get a little concerned, like, how does this person know where I live? They're off of no mode, and now they're kind of curious, like, what's going on? Taking the seller off of no mode is super important. And this is why the script works so well. And once you ask them through the owner, they say yes. Who is this? That's probably their most common answer. Just say, hey, are you looking to sell your property? Me and my partner are looking to buy a couple more properties for cash. That's it. Super easy, super simple, and super convenient. And if they say yes, then we go into the next part of the script. Now, if they say no, no big deal. Have a nice day. Talk to you later. But if they say yes, go down the line. Think of MCTP, motivation, condition, time frame, price. Ask them these 4 questions. M, motivation. Hey, why are you looking to sell the property? C, condition. Can you tell me a little bit about the house? P, time frame. When are you looking to sell the property? And P, price. What price are you looking to sell it for? They'll give you the questions and the answers. You're not going to close the seller here on the call. It's for the second call or third call for virtual wholesaling. From there, tell them, hey, me and my partner are going to call you back. We're going to look at a little more information on the property. We'll give you a call back probably tomorrow. Is this the best time to reach out to you? Then boom, go to the next call. That is the script, and that's basically how you succeed in cold calling. Guys, the truth here is consistency is king. The person that can consistently cold call for long periods of time are going to win. This is why when I cold called, and I started out, I cold called 2 to 7 p.m., 5 days a week, 5 hours a day for a year straight, and that got me really good at cold calling. So the last question is, how do you get really good at cold calling? How do I actually become successful? Create a schedule and stick to it. The best times I've found for cold calling has been from 2 to 7 p.m., but really figure out any time that works. The best time to cold call is when you can do it. Now, don't cold call after 8 p.m. or before 9 a.m., but anytime between those, you should be good to go. Consistency is going to be king. So consistently make a schedule and consistently cold call. The more you cold call, the better you're gonna do. Now, the last question is, what lists work for the script? Really, any type of list actually works really well in the script. Government lists, listrei.com lists, zachdata.com lists, drawing for dollars. Any of these lists we teach at freewholesaling.com really work. But I prefer government lists, drawing for dollars, and any of the paid lists that we talk about in the freewholesaling.com course. That's really where I'd probably cold call the best. So those are the best lists you could possibly do. Just remember, guys, the people in this business that make money in cold calling are the ones that dedicate it and become true professionals in this business. They work hard, they consistently cold call, and they don't make excuses. If that is you, get your butt into cold calling, go through freewholesaling.com and really break down my free and complete guide on cold calling from step by step. There's an entire module on cold calling where I break down everything, objections, what to do if someone's difficult, someone asks you what's your offer, all these things. It's all at freewholesaling.com. I don't have hours to explain it today, but at freewholesaling.com, you can go in there right now and start getting it going. So guys, if you got any value from this video, do me a big favor. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, go to freewholesaling.com, and I'll see you guys soon. Happy cold calling.